Alright guys, welcome back to the 147th episode of this review series where I review everything in Fortnite Save the World. For this episode, I'm going to be doing a review on Archetype Havoc, and what his commander perk is Escape Artist Plus. Using Shockwave increases movement speed by 40% and armor by 145 for 8 seconds. And firstly, let's go over the perks of the weapon I'm using with him. And you can use really any weapon, since the hero loadout doesn't really modify any certain weapon. But the weapon I'm using is the Storm King Scourge, and I went for a crit build, which means having 1 crit rating and as much crit damage as I can possibly put on the weapon. So for the first perk, or the special perk, we got hitting an enemy applies a charge, building up to 5 charges or switching targets detonates the charges, dealing 100% of weapon damage to the target and nearby enemies. Each charge increases the radius up to a max of 0.75 tiles. And then for a second perk, we got crit damage. For the third perk, we got crit rating. For the fourth perk, or the element, we have energy or physical. Energy is better against elemental enemies, whereas physical is good against enemies with no element. The fifth perk is crit damage, and then finally the sixth perk is damage. And now for the hero loadout. For the team perk, I'm using Happy Holidays, which reduces your ability cooldowns by 40% and stacks independently from other cooldown reduction perks, and requires 3 heroes with 2 or more stars. And then for a support team, we got Doppler Effect from Shock Trooper Renegade, decreases Shockwave cooldown by 24%. Power Impact from Love Ranger Jonesy, increases Shockwave radius by 37.5%. Explosive Entrance from Bunny Brawler Luna. Shockwave drops 3 egg bombs, which each deal 54 base damage to nearby enemies. Space Technology from Azalea Clark, increases ability energy damage by 15.5%. And then lastly, Ghoulish Cackle from Willow, increases ability damage up to 37.5% based on the percentage of your missing health. And anyway, the gameplay we're seeing in the background is a power level 132 eliminate and collect mission. So firstly, let's go over his abilities. The first one is lefty and righty, which without the right hero loadout isn't really that good in the damage or cooldown department. And this isn't the right hero loadout, so you're not really going to use this because the damage is super low and the cooldown is super long. And then Frag Grenade is kind of like the Shockwave that he has, except Frag Grenade, you could throw it, and there's 3 of them while there's only 1 Shockwave. And so Frag Grenade, it's pretty good. Whenever you don't have your Shockwave ready, you can use the Frag Grenade. If there's like enemies just piling onto you, you can use Frag Grenade and take them out pretty easily. And then Shockwave goes along with his commander perk, and what it does special is it's like the Frag Grenade where you can explode a bunch of enemies, but what's special with the Shockwave is with Archetype, you actually get a movement speed increase by 40% and an armor increase by 145 for 8 seconds. And with the Happy Holidays and Shock Trooper Renegade perks, you actually get a reduced cooldown, so you'll only have a cooldown of 12 seconds. And what armor does is it makes it so whenever an enemy hits you, the damage that it does is reduced. So that means you'll be able to take a lot more hits before actually getting knocked down. And then the movement speed is pretty good, because whenever you do Shockwave and there's like a bunch of enemies, you could just run away from them to get a good distance, so then you could start spraying them down with your weapon. And you'll have these boosts for 8 seconds, and the cooldown is 12 seconds. So if you use the Shockwave as much as you possibly can, then you'll basically always have this boost except for those 4 seconds. And then those 4 seconds, just try not to get hit and you'll be good. And then also, with Bunny Brawler Luna, Azalea Clark, and Willow, you actually do some extra damage. With Azalea Clark, you'll always have that extra damage boost, and it's a 15% damage boost. Since Shockwave, it does energy damage, and she boosts abilities that do energy damage, you'll be doing a bit of extra damage. And then with Willow, she increases it based on the percentage of your missing health. So what you're gonna do is, if you're at full health, you're gonna try to get hit a couple times, and then back off from the enemies so you get that boost. And I don't have Survivalist in here, so then I can't heal up naturally, so then I can always have this boost active unless I get like Adrenaline Rush from a teammate, or I have a campfire or a healing pad. And then Explosive Entrance from Bunny Brawler Luna. What she does is whenever you do your Shockwave, 3 eggs come out, and then they bounce for a couple seconds and then explode, and they do quite a bit of damage, so that's pretty good. And then also with Love Ranger Jonesy, he increases the Shockwave radius by 37.5%, so you'll be able to hit a lot more targets and be able to clear out hordes a lot better than you would normally with a normal Shockwave. But I'd say Archetype, he isn't really that good as a commander. Like, you could use any one of these heroes as a commander and they would probably do better than Archetype, because although he increases the speed and your armor, it's not really that good when you can have a commander that either increases the damage, the radius, or just decreases the cooldown altogether. So yeah, I'd say he's good for the support team because he does get that speed boost so you could run away from the enemies after you do your Shockwave, but that extra armor bonus with the commander perk isn't really a big deal. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because I do these review videos where I review everything in Fortnite Save the World 3 times a day, and also like, comment, and share so that more people can see my videos. But anyway guys, I'll see you next time.